What is up, people? Van from the Vaniverse gaming channel here, bringing you another Should I Buy video. Today's video is going to be on a game called Druidstone, The Secret of the Menhir Forest. This game came out, I believe, in 2019. I always had it on my wish list, and I never picked it up. And then recently I got some free time during the Steam sale for Christmas of 2020, and I bought it and played through it. After playing through it, I actually enjoyed it a lot, but I think there's things about this game that some people will like, some people won't like. So hopefully after watching this video, it gives you a good opinion of this is something that you should pick up or not. So let's kind of get into it. Basically, this game is a tactical turn-based RPG with tile-type movement. So similar to a 5e game like, Solasta that you've seen on this channel where every block is 5 feet. Very similar to that, where you move so many blocks, and then once you move that far, your character has no more movement. Other than that, it is considered an RPG because there are characters that level up in the game. You gain gold, and as you level up, you earn new abilities, and then you also can earn these special little gems that you can slot into those abilities and or into gear you find, and it helps to add properties or make things a little bit better. So when it comes to the RPG aspect, there are, I believe, 36 or some odd missions, and each mission provides you XP, and as you gain XP, you level up, etc., etc. So very similar to a lot of the games I play on this channel. Now, the story behind this game is, it's not terrible, it's not great. Basically, there is a corruption that is happening in the forest. You go to the druids to seek what's going on, and one of the archdruids has gone missing. And so one of the characters you play is the daughter of this archdruid, and she is accompanied by this warden who you really never know who he is or how he got here. He just wakes up one day and he's a full-grown human, and he knows he's supposed to protect the forest, and this druid gal believes in him. Other than that, you have no idea. And then there's this other character who's an interesting fella who he's very strange looking, not human by any means, not from this planet, and he has the ability to cast spells because he studied at one of the famous wizard schools, so to speak. So a lot of people might have an issue that you cannot customize your character, you cannot build your own character in this game. You are handed these 3 characters, and you are to use them as you see fit. Spoiler alert here, you can pause this or mute me if you want, but later on in the game you do pick up a 4th character to your party, which turns into be more of like a monk class. And then also there's a mission you do where a gentleman helps you, and then after he helps you, you get an item that you can summon him to also be a 5th person in your party. So other than that, your 3 core main characters are going to be this druid gal who really functions more of like a hunter, where she's more of a ranged bow user, but also has some abilities. Your warden, who is more of your tank and your melee damage dealer. And then this silly little guy who can cast spells and is your ranged magic damage user. You can rename them all and give them names you want. You don't have to stick with the names that are generated by the game itself. So that is one thing that you can customize. Now, let's get into the combat a little bit. So one thing, if you're already watching the video, that you notice is that this game, it takes like the Zelda type of art style. You have hearts above your head. Each heart is the damage that you take, and once your hearts are all gone, you die. So very reminiscent of like a Zelda game. Each character gets one action, and that is different than most games that you play. Well, I guess it's not super different. Most games you do get one action. But what's interesting about this game is I always feel like you're limited. You have so many abilities to use in this game, but every action counts. And depending on what action you use, it completely changes the whole outcome of the mission. So, like your ranger gal, she is your healer. She is your person who resurrects people if they fall down. And she only gets one action per turn. So you have to choose which one you're going to use because you have a limit on a lot of your abilities. So your resurrection ability that she casts, unless you slot these special gems into it, you can cast it one time on the mission and then you run out. So not only are you limited by one action point, a lot of your better actions only have one use per mission. Now, you'll see on this map, there are chests on this map. There is also what looks to be a book on a little podium. Those books allow you to get your skills back. So say you only have one regeneration skill, you can randomly get an option to choose of 3 other skills that you can get a use of in this mission. So each character can access this book, and depending on which skills, it's random each time. So there is some randomness to the combat where if you're like, hey, look at this book, it's coming up, I really need more damage, then you would have your wizard dude go up and click it and maybe get a new fireball spell or a new ice spell or a new lightning bolt spell. If you're, hey, I need the healing, then maybe you'd have your ranger druid gal go pick it up and get the healing spell. So there is some RNG to these, because also when you kill things, they drop specific gems. If they drop a red gem, then you gain 1 heart back for every red gem. If they drop a blue gem, you actually get to take a second action. So the blue gems are really great in this game because they will make or break you. And they're random. Sometimes they drop a blue, sometimes they don't. But if you get that blue gem, you're allowed to redo an action. So it's pretty cool that you get to take 2 actions versus 1 with those blue gems. In addition to dropping the red and blue gems, they also can drop gold. And in order for you to collect that gold, you actually have to move a character over top of it in order to collect the gold so that you can buy stuff from a vendor down the road. So that is pretty much how the combat works. Every turn, you get a choice to move, you get a choice to take an action, and that is it. Now, there are free actions. Some characters have free actions, which is like a standard attack in like D&D 5th edition. Like your basic attack is your free action. There's also some other free actions that you can pick up, like drinking a potion is a free action. But in addition to those actions that you use for your abilities, you also have to use an action to interact with the book, to interact with a chest. So, like if you have a character who wants to unlock a chest, they have to use their action to open up that chest. Now, down the road, there is a character that gets the ability to open up chests for free, but that's well down the road. That's not early on in the game. So, what I find interesting and also frustrating about this game is each mission has 3 things. It has your basic story mission, which is at the top right-hand corner if you look at it. And then underneath it, it has your bonus objectives. Each bonus objective will either give you one of those green stones, which we'll talk about here in a minute, or it will probably give you gold. And so each mission, you want to try and knock out the bonus objectives while you're doing the main objective. The problem with that is every mission feels like you are rushed for time. And so you can't just lollygog through and like, okay, I got this, I'll do this. Every turn on most missions, there are new creatures that spawn in the mission. So you see these red circles appear on the ground, and then when it comes to the next turn, they summon creatures. So you are constantly pressed to try and get through these missions as fast as humanly possible to try and accomplish all of the tasks all at one time. Now, I have noticed that some of these tasks are not designed for you to beat on the first go. The very first mission in this game is the bonus objective is to do damage or to finish the mission without taking any damage. Where you don't even control the little wizard guy on that mission, so you can't control his positioning. And you don't have enough damage to kill everybody. So pretty much, you can't do that mission until you get a little bit higher and get some abilities and some more damage that you know you can finish off the creatures before they do damage to any of your characters. And so what I feel a lot of people might do is they might try and complete the bonus objectives right away, and sometimes don't worry about it. Like, don't waste your time completing the bonus objectives. Come back when you're a little bit stronger, and then it's a little bit easier. The only thing that happens when you replay a mission is you get less experience to replay it, but what does it matter, right? If you beat the normal mission right away, you get the full XP, and then you go back and then you play it again at half XP, and then you can try and finish the bonus objectives as well. So don't try and do the bonus objectives when you're trying to complete the main mission. So that is pretty much how combat works. You're completing a mission, you're completing bonus missions, you are trying to interact with as much gold as you can, and then throughout the mission you get these gems that drop to help you complete it, and you got to do it as fast as possible so that other creatures don't start randomly spawning and you start getting overwhelmed where you're getting attacked by all these things. And so where the customization comes and the character building in this game is based on leveling up and those green gems. So every time you level up, you get to choose an ability. Each character can have up to, I believe, 10 abilities that they can have active on their bar at any given time. Those 10 abilities can be passive abilities, they can be active abilities, but you can only have 10 cards active at a time. So you will get to a point when you get further into the game where the cards, you will have to uncheck one of the cards you currently have to get a new card and activate that. So you can only have like 10 active at a time. Now, I will tell you that the game is fairly repetitive. You'll find out that as you get further in the missions, there's very few times you're going to use more than the same old abilities over and over again, because that is very dependent on these green diamonds. So these green diamonds give you the ability, like a focus ability is a really great ability for your casters, is that what your ability normally does on your action bar, you convert it to do something else. So for instance, if you could normally cast a fireball, it's a 4-square fireball and it hits one creature. If you tend to use a focus, which is another ability you have that you only get one use of normally, you can now turn that into like an 8x8 square fireball to hit multiple creatures. And so by getting these green diamonds through playing the bonus objectives, you can slot them into your focus ability and give you more uses of it. So you could have 4 or 5 uses of focus, which is a huge advantage in this game. In addition to the green crystals that you can put into your abilities, you can also put them into your gear. So if you find a really good sword, by putting one of those green diamonds into your sword now gives you the ability to lifesteal, or gives you the ability to, upon killing something, it drops a heart that you can heal yourself. So that's where the character customization comes in this game, is by how you utilize those green diamonds and what gear you choose to purchase and use throughout the game. Now, the other cool thing about Druidstone is that nothing is locked into place. A lot of games, as you level up your character, you can't undo the changes, or you have to pay money to undo the changes. This game is smart where they know, hey, listen, you might need specific abilities to beat this mission. So we're going to let you move around your gems however you want. So that's what's really cool about this game, is say there's a mission where you have to pull 4 levers extremely quickly before you get overrun, and one of your characters has the sprint ability, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to put 4 crystals into sprint just for this one mission so that I can unlock all, so I can use it 4 times and get to all these levers. So that is where the customization comes into the game, but ultimately this game is focused on the difficulty of combat. At even the normal level of difficulty, every mission is very hard. You might play the same mission 10 times because you're trying to figure out how you can beat it and how you can get some of the bonus objectives on the first try. That's where the difficulty comes in the game, is this is really focused on combat, and some people will just rush through it and try and blow through it quick and avoid everything. Other people will like it, and other people will say it's very boring and it's too hard and I'm not playing this anymore. So to sum up this video and kind of give you my final opinion of the game, and then I'll kind of let the game play out a little bit, is the game is all about combat. If you're looking for an RPG with a good character customization, this is probably not that game due to the few abilities you get and the few ways to modify them. And the same comes with gear. You get very few pieces of gear, and the amount of gold you have is limited. So it's not the greatest for character customization. You can't customize your character's looks or build new classes. You're stuck with what is given to you. When it comes to the story, it's good. It's not great. It's just a decent story. Like, there was a couple moments in it where I was reading through and I really was engaged, but it's not like, wow, mind-blowing, best story I ever heard. And they're, you know, other than that, the graphics, they're decent, they're pretty, but it's not like, oh my God, this is the most graphically amazing game I've ever seen. So this game is for people who like a tough mission and they're completionists. They want to get all the bonus objectives. They want to just beat everything the game has to offer. You're going to love this game because there's a sense of, okay, I only have 2 stars on this mission. I got to beat these objectives to get 3 stars on this mission. And okay, I've beaten every single mission and I've unlocked every achievement. Like, this game was perfect for me because I loved playing the missions to unlock all the bonus objectives. But some people might be like, hey, this is boring. I don't want to do this. So with that being said, I'll let the rest of the video play through. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And my recommendation is if you like a difficult, tactical, turn-based RPG that's based on the combat mostly, this is probably the game for you. This is Van for the Vaniverse Gaming Channel. Cheers and peace out.